What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Off the Post Sports. I'm TJ, and look who actually made it to the second round. No, not just the Maple Leafs. It's Mitchell. He is here for the second round predictions video.
Let's
As
go.
always, make sure you subscribe, like the video, share it with a friend. And Mitch, I just need to know. You watched all these first round matchups. Some you might have watched more, some you might have watched less. Which one most interesting or best series, worst to least or best to worst? Give it to me.
Best, I think I'm gonna go with Boston and Florida. That was a ride. That was so
Like,
crazy, man. That was one of the best series, not even just because like the demise of the Boston Bruins, and it always happens to Leafs fans, but now it happens to a different team. But just the back and forth. You thought the Panthers were out of it, and then it goes to that overtime game where Allmark just completely gives up
yep,
the puck, and then
Sells and
the
Tkachuk
game
buries it.
six, the game six where they are back and forth. Such a great playoff series. So I think that's my favorite. My second favorite, I want to say Leafs, but I think I'm actually going to go Oilers Kings. Again,
Yeah,
every game was crazy.
but that's
Um,
just those teams, of course, right? Like, if it's Edmonton,
that,
it's got to be a wild, like, high scoring playoff series.
but the Kings did better offensively than I thought. I thought
Mm-hmm.
they were going to try to
Yeah,
go defense mode and just try to shut them down, almost play like the Islanders. But no, they
they
they went
matched
at
them.
Edmonton, but Edmonton's offense was too good.
Mm-hmm.
Three, gonna have to go to the Leafs. It was a very not leafy playoffs for us because we're usually the Lightning where we're outplaying the other team and then we let these goals in. We lose in overtime. But the Leafs turned the tide, man. Like they
Yeah,
played in overtime. They actually won games. First team in NHL history to win 3 games on the road in
yeah.
overtime in the
And
playoffs.
the
That's
games like
crazy.
that they did not deserve to win, which finally go their way for once.
Um, I'm just looking at the matchups here. What's my 3 or 4? Sorry.
Four, yeah.
Kraken Avalanche, I think.
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like you were kind of missing that one.
Yeah, no, that was a good series. Obviously, Avalanche was missing Landeskog the whole playoffs. Got that McCarr injury, but the Kraken with a gritty effort.
Yeah, I got a question for you. Like, are the Colorado Avalanche like sending the Boston Bruins flowers for like hiding the fact that they just got eliminated by the Kraken in like pretty stunning fashion as well? It's just it wasn't as bad, so they're not getting as much heat.
I don't know. There's a difference between the two, right? Because you see, like when the Avalanche get eliminated, their fans are cheering them on, like they're like saluting them, but like they just won the cup the last year, right? So
Yeah, they're
they
happy
were
still.
playing with house money this playoff for the
Mhm.
Bruins. So much expectation, best team in NHL regular season history.
Made moves at the deadline, like they were active all the way to the end.
Everyone's like Bruins in 4, Bruins in 5. They get the 3-1 lead and they just disappear. So like I don't know. The Avalanche, their fans are obviously disappointed because, like I said, they're coming back off of a win. But honestly, you got to respect the Kraken and the effort
Mhm.
they put in there.
All right,
And then
so what's your number five then?
I'll go Vegas and Jets.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of people, I don't know. I'll give my reasoning, but after for the other teams, but it was still entertaining that one game where it was 4-1 Vegas, the Jets come and tie it up. Like it was still entertaining hockey to watch.
Mhm.
Obviously a quicker series, but I still think
Yeah.
the games in itself were pretty decent. And then I got the Stars and the Wild. Honestly, just kind of two boring teams, and the Wild Stars didn't show up.
Yeah, the
Um,
Wild really didn't show up, but hey, it was the
oh,
Rupe
I
show,
missed
bro.
one. I missed one. I missed one. What am I doing? What am I doing? I missed one. Honestly, I'm sliding my last teams down since the
Okay,
Avalanche. I'm sliding those all down. I'm putting Jersey Rangers in the 4.
in the four slot.
That would I
I was
missed that
questioning the list
completely.
reading it, but I thought you maybe had
No,
some like deep thought that you just didn't like both teams.
no. The
I know you
Devils
weren't
are
the
a
biggest Rangers
wagon.
fan, so we can maybe get into that later. But
We can get into it later, but the Devils are a wagon, and the
yeah.
storylines of that series, I can't believe that just slipped my mind completely.
So where did you slot them? I'm sorry.
They're 4, so Avalanche is
Okay.
5, and
Yeah.
then the 6 is Vegas,
Yeah.
and
I
then
I think
set.
I think
Sorry,
my
continue.
list is like all the same as yours. except I'm sliding Vegas down to the bottom and the Stars up one. And
Okay.
then I'm also sliding the Rangers up to 3 and then the Leafs down to 4. Just
See, this
because
is,
like the
but see,
Leafs was
sorry, you're sorry to cut you off, but it was so bad. You're completely forgetting that we're not even talking about the Islanders and the Hurricanes. Worst series of the playoffs.
oh
I'm
shit.
sorry, those teams are so boring that we didn't even remember them.
Yeah, sorry. They're at the bottom, and then it's Vegas, and then it's Stars for me. So that's my list. And now I'm just gonna go into it because I need to get this off my chest. Like I think that the best series going into the next round is low key going to be Vegas Edmonton. And
I could
here's
see
my
it.
reasoning
I could
is
see it.
it's going to be the fireworks show. Like I'm not sure about either goalie. They both had good games throughout the playoffs, but they're also like liable to, give up some 4, 5, 6 goal games. And I just feel like, yeah, it's going to be back and forth the entire time. And plus we get to see Jekyll versus McDavid for the first time
Right.
in the playoffs.
That's an underrated story, right?
Right? It's like such
I
a low key story.
I'm gonna agree with you. I think again it's gonna be high scoring because you got Laurent Brossois. Yeah, you did it against the Jets, but
Mm-hmm.
the Oilers are the best offensive team in the league, and it's not close,
Oh
right?
yeah, no doubt.
And you see it like the the Golden Knights, their best D men, whether it's Theodore and Petrangelo, they're mostly offensive guys anymore. Like what
Mm-hmm.
shutdown guys do the Vegas have that can just
Mm-hmm.
defend against McDavid?
Like
So
I feel like that's going to be a big question mark is like who does go against McDavid, because also like I look at a guy like a Mark Stone as like, oh yeah, I probably want him to go out there, but they play Stone with Eichel. Like they need to so do you really put like you could put Eichel out there against him? I mean, I don't know. They have guys like Chandler Stevenson maybe who could be like a pesky kind of matchup and also provide offense against, but it's going to be tough to slow down
I'm just
Edmonton.
gonna
They're
I'm
kind of
just gonna
rolling on offense.
I'm just gonna pull up their lines real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so but like I don't really know. Yeah, so it's Eichel. Oh, is that actually the lines? Isn't Eichel on the line with Stone?
He was, but they could have changed
Oh,
it.
this I think this is regular season.
Hmm.
Um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
because Stone was
Stone is
out a lot.
probably that's not good. I'm not gonna look too hard, but you probably want to match up Stone, but at the same time, does he have the foot speed to keep up with McDavid? Like, does anybody have the foot speed to keep up with McDavid in this playoffs? And if they separate Draisaitl, like I honestly like I want the Golden Knights to win because I'm one of the only people in this world that don't hate them,
Yeah.
and I'm more of an Oilers hater, but I respect them so much. They're such a better team than they have been in past. But I don't see how Vegas can compete with them. I hope
Yeah.
I'm wrong, but I
Well,
don't know
like
if it's too early to
even
give my prediction in this series, but
let's just like stay on this though. Like I'm just kind of thinking like when when it comes down to it, like I really do think that this is going to be like I just don't see Brossois or Skinner like stealing a series. So if it's going to come down to like the offense, then I think I'm taking the playmakers in Edmonton, but it's tough to say. Edmonton was such a wagon. I mentioned it in my first round video. Like coming into the playoffs, they had a better record than Boston since acquiring Janmark.
wait, you said Oilers?
Oilers. They had the best record in hockey coming into the playoffs, better record
The
than fucking
Kings
Boston.
had the second best too.
It's crazy. Like wagons coming into the playoffs too. So I don't know. I just feel like maybe it's just a hot team. They have such good offense, but I don't know. I also could see this series just go in the complete opposite direction, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, they just get shut down or like snake bitten. I don't know. It could go both ways to me.
I can't. So should we give our predictions as we
Yeah,
talk
let's
about
let's
these,
just go
or
for it. Like let's
honestly,
break these down as we discuss it.
I want to say that I believe in the Golden Knights, but I don't. I honestly think the Oilers are going to get this done in five.
Wow.
I think the Oilers, like not to like,
I don't even think it's a
but
bad take.
not to disrespect them or their run or anything. I think they have such an easy path to the finals this year.
Mhm.
I think the only team that would honestly give them trouble would be the Dallas Stars. And
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be that much trouble. I'm going Oilers in 5 over Vegas.
And you know what? I think Oilers are going to win as well. I just got this like this feeling that they're going to I think that they're going to take it in 7. I think it's going to go 7. I
You think
think
it's going 7?
we're going to
Wow.
see some shaky games from Skinner where Edmonton definitely should have won type thing, cuz I do think like Berswat, he has such a hard name to say. I'm not French, but he's Laurent. He's like in the regular season, he had some really good games, put up some good numbers, and he had a couple good games in the playoffs against Winnipeg there. So I don't know. I don't really fully fully discredit him as much as I don't really love Skinner, but I still think it's going to be enough to win. So I'm taking Edmonton in 7.
So if you think it's 7, you think Brossoit is going to like put on a masterful performance
Like I
because he
think he's
has
gonna.
to. If it's going 7, he's going to have to be a dog.
No, I'm thinking that he's going to have a couple games where he only gives up 3 goals, and I think that Skinner's going to have a couple games where he's shaky and gives up 5, 6.
Okay.
That's what I'm going. I'm not going that he's going to stand on his head. I don't believe in that, but I believe that he might be able to be a little bit more consistent. But in the end, the offense will just take over.
I have a little bet between us here that we can go for, like a little
Okay.
meaningless bet. Just I think of.
I love it.
Does Campbell get in over 1 game starting? Since you think it's going 7, does Campbell start over 1 game? So does he start a game or more? Or do you think they
You know
run
what?
scared the whole time?
Let. How funny would it be?
They got pulled last time in Campbell.
I'll go over.
So you think
he'll get into 1 game, and you know what? I think it would be so funny if he became like, imagine he becomes their savior. They go down 2-0 to the Vegas Golden Knights, and what do they do? They pull Skinner. They put in Jack Campbell. He wins the series. He beats the Dallas Stars. Who does he play in the finals? It's the Toronto Maple Leafs.
No. Honestly, I had such a good season. Being relieved that Jack Campbell wasn't the best goalie in the league that I thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
Just because that's just how Leaf luck works. You can look at Hyman, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But
goes and just becomes a superstar. Yeah, it definitely could have.
We'll see, but we'll hold you to that. We'll hold you to that.
That like
I'm just. Be a nice cat bet.
I think that I should be in the NHL scriptwriters room with that one. Like that one is just like that's A1 sauce. We need
anybody could have wrote that, bro. Don't not give yourself too credit.
And
for that.
Well, like I will definitely be making like a round 3 prediction video, and I really do hope McJesus makes it further, because I am excited that if he does potentially go to the finals and if he does upset the biggest market in hockey, I am excited for the McJesus turned McDevil villain arc that is about to occur.
All right, well, I guess that's enough about the Oilers. I think we're pretty consensus about our next pick, the second most exciting playoff matchup. Has to be Leafs Panthers. I think so. Don't you agree?
No, I agree too.
You got one team who's coming off of a high. They finally exercised their playoff demons. First win in 19 years. They must be ecstatic. Hopefully they can just play like the Leafs we know in the regular season without that blockage in their minds. But then you come off the Panthers, who just beat the best team in hockey, right?
Which is like a whole another high, and they haven't won a playoff series in some time too. But
well, they won last year, but before that, it was the 90s.
That's what it was. But still, it's like it's
they
a
beat
whole
your
nother
Capitals, by the way.
Yeah, whole nother high of just beating the team that no one gave you a shot of. Come back down 3-1. So it's both teams feel very, very good coming into this series.
I don't know, like key players. Obviously, I think Tkachuk's a key player for the Panthers. If Tkachuk's not rolling all cylinders, getting in the Leafs' head, getting the Samsonov's head, like you saw what he was doing to Allmark. Like I wonder if Samsonov would have a similar reaction. If Tkachuk can play his role. Like I'll get into our predictions later, but like he could have a massive edge on this series just by him playing. And honestly, the Leafs' advantage has to be Matthews again, I think. Matthews Marner. They played great in the first round. I think they have to keep it up. You look at the Panthers this year compared to last, where last year they got swept by the Lightning in the second round, but I think their up front is better. Like their first two lines is probably better because they have a lot of similar players, but they added Matthew Tkachuk, and he's better than Huberdeau, right?
Yeah.
But if the Leafs depth with Matthews first line, Tavares second line, O'Reilly third line, if we can take it to their lack of depth on defense, I like the Leafs' chances, right? It's all about the matchups and what they do with it.
Yeah, no doubt. So my next pick for the most like interesting, I think personally it's a no-brainer.
Hey, wait. We didn't do our predictions, my friend.
Oh, my boy. I thought we were gonna kind of like circle back. You want to do it now?
I mean, we might as well do it now. We did our predictions for the Oilers.
Yeah, that is true. Okay, my bad. I just fluffed that up. But okay, now I'm gonna give my Leafs breakdown because I was moving on way too fast, thinking we were gonna circle back.
Too fast.
The Leafs need to absolutely have to shut down the first line of the Florida Panthers. Huh?
Great.
Doesn't that sound kind of familiar to the game plan that was literally the last series of shut down the first line? But
that's true.
Either way, that the big thing that I really read into was, I don't know if you saw Jim Montgomery, the Bruins coach, what he said about the line.
I did not.
He said that Verhaeghe, Tkachuk, Sam Bennett line, we couldn't contain them. They hounded our defense. They were all over them. It was turnover after turnover. They were just like menacing, and we tried to make changes, and it just nothing worked. So that's clear as day. Like they're going to be the one line that will cause the most problems. So what I really do like in the Leaf sense is, you mentioned like Matthews and Marner, and I do agree with that, but I also just think the Leafs' biggest advantage here is going to be the depth, because you're going to have whoever it is. I don't know what line they will end up putting, but it'll be an O'Reilly or a Tavares, most likely, getting the matchup with that Tkachuk line. And you want them to just, I don't care if you get points, like do your job, shut them down, and the depth of the Leafs will take over, because I don't think they can go like strength on strength against the Leafs on forward besides that top line. Like the top six is solid, but I just think once it comes down to like, the Leafs are going to be able to roll out that fourth line, which also, if they dress 11 forwards, means we're getting another superstar out on the ice more often. It's just, all, in my opinion, it's going to be the depth that takes over. And then, like I said, like I was saying as well, I'm just sorry to ramble a bit, but another big thing is, I just think that the defensive matchups, it's going to be like constant pressure against the Florida Panthers. And what I love about what Keefe is doing, and like if it is the 70 for most of the series, we'll see. It's at least going to be for, I think, the first game. I'm not sure if that's confirmed, but
I can look it up, but I'm not sure.
But I'm pretty sure I heard that Lafferty was still sitting out. But anyway, if they do the 70, or even if they don't, it doesn't seem like Keefe is afraid to switch up the line, switch up the matchups, and really just like take advantage of what he needs to. So I do like the Leafs in this series. The one way that the Leafs lose is, like I said, that Tkachuk, Sam Bennett line. They just put absolute pressure. I think a big key for the Leafs is going to be discipline as well. You can't just let yourself get baited. You know what I mean?
But you actually made it. I didn't even think about the 11-7. That is really important on what they're going to run with to start. But I don't think you can let Matthew Tkachuk see the ice without either one of Luke Schenn or Jake McCabe being there. They need, because he's going to drive the net. He's going to try to do the post scrum stuff. And when he tries that, you need Luke Schenn directly in his face.
Yeah.
Because Matthew Tkachuk, he's physical. He does all that stuff. He's not dropping the gloves with Luke Schenn. Luke Schenn's going to box him out. I think that's a key matchup. Luke Schenn or Jake McCabe on Matthew Tkachuk at all times.
And but in the exact vice versa, do you think it's going to be like, we got to get Ekblad out there whenever 34 is on the ice? Like, we just have to do it?
Ekblad was ghost, man. He wasn't that good.
I know. It's crazy. So what then? Like, but then who? Like their depth is just
That's
like
what I'm
it's
saying.
so like
Unless they're going good. Like I don't know all the advanced stats on Ekblad.
yeah.
I know he went pointless, but
Gudis is just mean, so
he
they
did
could just
log
go
minutes.
Gudis.
Could go Gudis, and like you could say, oh, Montour. Sorry, not Brantor. Montour had a great season, but he's like Morgan Riley esque,
Yeah.
where he'll score on you and he's fast, but I don't think he's gonna shut you down defensively, right?
And then the biggest thing though that like could just turn the whole tide of the series, which is a lot of these fucking playoff series. Who's in net?
You have to go, Bob. No,
Well, yeah, it's obviously Bob, but I'm just saying, like that could be the difference maker in this whole series. Does Bob like steal a series from the Leafs? I don't foresee it happening, but
or
I
does he
guess that could
regress to
be the
what he was?
one scenario in my head where like everything goes completely wrong for Toronto and everything goes completely right for the Florida Panthers would be superstar Bob steals the show.
I I know it doesn't always go how it looks like on paper. Actually, it very rarely
Very
does go
rarely.
how it looks
Yeah.
on paper. But I don't think the Panthers defense can handle the Leafs. I honestly, I don't.
And I
I
do
don't
think
think.
like a
I
key
think their
part of
first
the
line.
the series
Sorry,
like
there.
before was just the Bruins. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's just me reading into it too much, but I think it's more so that series was an indictment on the Bruins than it was like a
That's
massive showing of what the Panthers are.
that's the question. Did we overestimate the Bruins or underestimate the Panthers? You won't know. But like the Bruins, like their breakouts were abysmal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't doubt the Tkachuk line is going to give us problems, but I don't think we're going to be hemmed in like the Bruins were.
You texted me and you said why they standing still when they gave up that empty net goal. And then the same thing happened in overtime. They're standing still again. Like it's just
Yeah, like
that's not gonna happen. Like I just don't know why they fell asleep, but they fell asleep.
yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Do you have more to say on this, or is it
No,
predictions time?
I think I can give my prediction.
All
I
right,
think
I'm
I
going.
am going with the Toronto Maple Leafs in 5 games on this one.
Wow, I'm going Leafs in six. I'm going to go
So
Leafs
I
in
have
six
I
again.
have Bob stealing a game here, but then I just don't think like I think what Boborovsky did was a little bit of like lightning in a bottle. Like you're coming into a series midway through they're all used to the Bruins are all used to scoring on Lyon. They're not ready for Boborovsky. He comes in. It's kind of just like a surprise X factor type thing. I don't think it
Right.
happens again. I think
Yeah,
the Leafs are going to overwhelm them.
I hope so. I think Leafs in six.
Yep.
I would lean seven more than five, to be honest, but
Wow. Yep.
who knows? Okay.
Yep. We'll see how it goes.
What's our next series, TJ?
I
I think
think
we'll agree on both. I think we'll agree on both.
you
I'll let you
do.
know if we don't. I think so. Maybe not, but you
I
want me
I
to go
think
then?
my next series is going to be Dallas Seattle.
Yeah, we don't agree. I have that as my least.
Wow. Okay. So,
Can
which
I
one do you
explain to
want
you?
to break down first?
We did talk about Dallas first.
Yeah.
Dallas, yeah.
So,
Can I tell you why I think it's the bottom though?
yeah.
Because again, other than like Dallas does have star power, right? But they're still a very defense oriented team. And tell me this right now: who's the star on the Seattle Kraken? They don't have one. It was a good team
It's
effort.
a
So I
team.
think they're a team. They're dogs, right?
Team
So
effort.
I think it's again. I think it's going to be close. I think Ottinger is going to keep them in it. We're going to see what Grubauer can do. He had a great series, right? I think
Yeah.
MVP of that series for the Kraken. So I think it's going to be another low event series. Like I just don't think it's going to be anything exciting when we're ranking these. I go based off of excitement, not just great hockey, because you can have low scoring hockey. That's great, right? But I think it's just the least exciting.
But so you're mentioning all these like low scoring games that the Stars had and stuff, right? But then who's
All right.
leading the playoffs, bro, in points?
Yeah, Rupe hints. That's true.
Room, Rupe, room. He's so fast, bro. Like,
You're not wrong.
no, but I just think Dallas is. I mentioned this in my first round like prediction video, and like I feel like it mostly did come true based on like what I said. Was like from what I watched in the regular season, which I did say, like, mind you, is not a ton. They're
Right.
like this, really, they're really good defensively, and they're really like skilled on forward, like up front with like their top six. Like they kind of got, they got Sagan, they got Jason Robertson, they got Rupe, they got I'm blanking on the young kid's name. I mentioned him in
Um,
the other video.
Boldy.
No, not Boldy. Wyatt Johnson. He
Oh,
scored like
right.
24 goals this year as a rookie. He's a stud. Like they have like offense in their top six, and then they got Ottinger in net, who's just such an X factor. Like they're this really sound team, but my God, they are softer than 8-ply. But it works for them.
The Stars?
They're so soft.
What do you mean? I
Like
gotta be honest. That was like I didn't watch any of that series, so
the
this
Wild
could be
were
you.
like the Wild were getting themselves into penalties because they were, they were grabbing after the whistle, like cross-checking guys. It's like the Stars just came to do business. That's it, bro.
They
They
came to
like
play hockey.
they
They
just
didn't
pack
come for
their
the
lunch
rough
pails,
stuff.
go to work. Like Pavelski got absolutely murdered. Nobody cared. They got a power play. They scored. It's just
Right.
they're just so like they're so like yeah, just business oriented. It feels like, and yeah, the whole series they were not like they're not going out of their way to hit someone. They will hit someone. I'm not saying they're just like that soft, but I'm saying they're not like really playing into all of the like the extracurricular, and they're also just not throwing unnecessary hits to throw a big hit. Like they don't give up odd man rushes a lot. They play a really smart defensive game, and then they capitalize the other way because they have those X factors. So I think, but then I also think Seattle is just gritty. They have such a deep lineup, and Grubauer looked really good. So
The Seattle, Colorado, it wasn't very like they weren't really hidden either. So like I wonder if that's gonna change the series or they're just gonna be playing regular season hockey out there.
content to play regular season hockey, which I think will heavily favor the Dallas Stars. I have a question for you.
Hmm,
Grubauer faces Colorado, his old team. Did that help
right.
him?
I think so.
Yeah. Like I just kind of thought of that like out of nowhere, but like he was like
You could going back to the East, you could say the same thing about Luke Shen, right? Where it just ignites passion.
yeah,
Other than like Riley, who I think was the best defenseman, Luke Shen was the best defenseman in my opinion. So I
yeah.
think like having that against your old team can motivate you and make you step up even more. I don't know, maybe it was a flash in a bottle for Grubauer. He showed he's been good. He also shown he's been bad, but we'll have to see what he
It's
can do against Dallas Stars, right?
yeah, it's one of those things where it really can like yeah, just I reignite, I don't know, like something in the player that because he this year he was a lot better than last year, and obviously the team was better than last year, but even in Colorado, he had some shaky moments in goalie that caused them to not like win the cup when he was there, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so it was big for him to kind of overcome that playoff hurdle. Also, a little sidebar side note, he also started the Washington Capitals Cup run.
There you go.
Did you know that?
But like
He went 0 for 0 and 2, lost first two games of the first round versus Columbus. Then they put in Holtby, who was struggling the entire way leading into the playoffs.
he
Holtby
took
comes
over.
in, wins the Stanley Cup.
Well,
So
let's just be honest though. I don't think there's any chance in hell that he outduels Ottinger though.
no,
I
Ottinger's
think
like, in my opinion, Ottinger has solidified himself like coming from last year's playoffs to now. He's a top five goalie, easy.
right where it's like the Avalanche. Who's their goalie again? I don't know. I know him.
It's
What's his
Gorgiev.
Gorgiev? He I don't know. Is he a starting goalie, man?
I think they really like they disrespected Darcy Kemper in thinking that they could just go from like a good starting goalie that helped them win a cup to downgrade to a like solid
Like he
goalie on a good team.
like he wasn't bad. He had a 919 in the regular season. That's good, but a 914 again. Like that's not bad
No,
numbers,
it's not
right?
bad. But
But if if he's better, do the Avalanche win,
I think
right?
if they have Darcy Kemper who
They win
played
again.
phenomenal on a shit team, imagine how good he would have been on a good team. I think he would have helped them overcome at least that series. But
So I honestly like. 'Cause I don't have too much to say about the series. I think it's a layup for the Stars.
I do too.
I think it's. I want to say six, but I every round there's teams that go seven. But I'm gonna say Stars and six.
All right. I think I'm actually sticking right there with you. I'm going Stars in six. I'm going the key X factor if I was to pick for Seattle. Let's go with it's gotta be Grubauer and I don't know. We need a star to step up. I don't know who it is, but we need an unsung hero to come out of the bushes. I don't know if it's Matty Beniers, Jared McCann. One of these guys just needs to have a crazy round.
Bjorkstrand. He
Yeah,
had a crazy game 7, scored 2 goals and 5 crossbars.
yeah. So I think that's my X factor. I don't know if you have any others for Seattle.
No, not really. I'm
And
agreeing with you
then
there.
on the other side, I mean, yeah, I'd go Ottinger, which is like it's kind of cringe to go X factor goalie, but it really is that way
It's
a
true.
lot of
It's
these
really true.
series. And then besides that, like let's see if Rupe can stay the hottest player in hockey right now.
Right. It's Rupe and then J Rob again, just because you
Yeah,
know what he can do. But yeah, so
the
I
stars,
got stars and 6 there.
the stars on the stars, stars and six.
Yeah.
All right, bro. So
So this is where I thought this, because I think the Star Series will be the most boring, but I think this will be the second most. But I might be disrespecting the Canes here. I don't think I am, honestly. Like, they're a good team. They're just boring.
yeah,
They're just boring. They're a good defensive team. They have a little bit of offensive upside here. They just beat the Islanders. I'm not like it's the Islanders. I'm sorry,
mhm.
but the Devils, man, I love this New Jersey Devil team.
They're loaded.
And the Schmidt, is it the Schmid or Schmid, whatever his name is? Does
Yeah,
he play the same way? Is he the next goalie prospect?
like
Shutout in Game 7 against the Rangers. Like,
these these playoff moments for these goalies. Like it keeps happening over the last couple of years. We had the Binnington, even Ottinger last year. Like he only played, I think, like 20 games coming into the playoffs. Like was kind of considered the backup, then just got
right,
hot. Like like hey, if you can show that you can do it on these big time stages, you're more likely to be given the shot. Like going into the future. So I think Schmid is setting himself up to be like the Devils goalie of the future, and it's just like Rip Vanacek, bro. What a regular season to have it all just ripped out of your hands.
yeah. Nobody's sad about losing Vanacek. Maybe Samsonov, but not Vanacek.
It's facts. But I have to agree with you that Carolina is a super boring team, but I also do want to combat you and say I know it was the Islanders, but like they're very deadly on the power play, like Aho and Nikas and Tavo. Like they're able to be like a very, I guess, a very potent power play. And they're just, yeah, like you said, they have such good depth on defense and they play so well as a whole as a defensive team. Their top
Right,
six on defense is like it's studded. It's all top four defensemen. Maybe they don't have that guy. You know what I mean? They don't really have that Hedman type guy who's just like one of those top 10 defensemen, but they're all
right,
good. Like if they were on other teams that are in everybody's top four, arguably, right?
right.
And then so far, I mean, Freddie played good in in his first ever elimination win.
Yeah, he's gonna sell the bag. I'm sorry, against a real team like the Devils, he's gonna sell the bag. But also a key thing is Svetch out for the whole series again? Is Svetch
If
coming back? If
I don't
Svetch
know,
comes back, that changes things, right? But
it
it's
does.
like I don't know. I feel like the Hurricanes are that team where if they're missing one star, they don't crumble. They play really like they play very well together. You know what I mean? They play a
Mhm.
whole team effort.
No, and
But
that's kind of like the point I was making too. Is like, yeah, they're such a good like as a team, but they don't really have that, you know, that guy. Aho's a
but
guy
like
and Nikish is a guy, but
don't forget, man, the Devils held Artemi Panarin to 2 points. I don't
don't
think he scored
forget
a goal.
don't forget the Devils scored how many goals against Igor Shesterkin and
Sherkin,
also
that's
beat him in a game 7, which he's like the Vasilevsky Jr. of game sevens.
Mr. Game 7. But like I know my prediction. I don't know exactly how this is going to play out because, like I said, I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't watch enough of the Hurricanes this playoffs. But
Mhm.
do you have more to say, or you want to just go straight to
I
the
just
predictions for
really
this?
think that if Carolina was to win this series, it's going to be limiting. I mentioned this for what for what the Rangers needed to do and they didn't do it. Is like if you watch the Devils and tell me if I'm wrong about this, the Devils don't ever really like to cycle the puck. They get a lot of their chances off odd man rushes and off rebounds and off like creating chaos turnover in the offensive zone. They don't
They're one
really
of the
like
best teams in the league off the rush.
yeah, they don't dump the puck in, chase it, and set up all the time. Like they still do it, but they don't do it very often. They love to play that type of game. And Carolina is the type of team to just play an all-out neutral zone trap and like not let you do anything like that. But that could either work in your favor or you could just get Jack Hughes, where like how do you beat the trap? You have superstar players and you have talented players who
you got speed,
just skate around everyone. Who cares?
Is Timo Meier going to be back in the series after that Trouba hit though?
He was back in the game against the Rangers.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, he returned, bro. Like only with a couple minutes left. I don't know if he had any injury, but
and obviously he wasn't that good in that series, right? Did he? How many points did he have? Do you know?
I don't think he. I could be wrong. He didn't score. I'm pretty sure he didn't score. I'm not sure if he had any points.
I'll look it up real quick. He had 0 points in 7 games.
Wow. Yeah. So kind of shocked. Super shocking about Panarin, like you
mentioned.
But
yeah, wow, that's shocking to him too.
So maybe the Devils have a bit more defensive potential than I'm giving them credit for, because they were able to shut down, like read off the Rangers lineup. That's a fucking all-star team. Especially 2 years ago. It's a superstar all-star team 2 years ago.
They're almost an all-star team without Kane and Tarasenko.
I know. It's crazy. But I don't really got too much else to say. I do think it's going to be Devils. I'm going to say Devils in 7.
Devils in 7. That was my exact. So we're pretty similar. We both said you said Leafs in 5.
I said Leafs in 5.
6. Mm-hmm. I said Oilers in 5.
I said Oilers in 7.
6. Did you say? Oh yes, you did say 7, and then we agreed on Dallas in 6, and we agreed on New Jersey in 7.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're pretty similar, man.
Yeah, I got I got 2 game 7s in this. 2 game 7s coming up.
I had to choose one series to go 7 because there usually is, right? Mm-hmm. I'm surprised we're very similar. There's no real bets on.
Yeah, we didn't pick any different, so it's gonna be interesting. But I almost feel like it wouldn't be shocking if any of the teams that we didn't pick won, but it also kind of would be shocking if any of the teams that we didn't pick won. Maybe the most shocking would be Florida, to be honest, personally. And I don't know if everybody wants to hear that, but
I agree.
So, bro.
Oh, wait, you said most shocking. I think it might be the least shocking, to be honest. They just beat Bruins, man. Sorry. I think the most shocking, honestly, I think the most shocking would be Vegas.
If Vegas upset, I don't think it's that shocking.
I do, man. The Oilers are a wagon.
The Oilers are primed to go on a run.
They've proved more than the Leafs.
I mean,
right?
Saying, oh, I think it would be most shocking if it was the Leafs or Edmonton, when they're literally the favorites to win the cup at this point on like all betting odds. Guess that's kind of a cold take to say, but also I think it's kind of think.
I do think it's Vegas the most shocking. But are you ready for my game?
Okay, bro, I'm ready for this game.
It's not really a game. I'm going to shout out the Bar Down podcast because I took this from their podcast. I just wanted to see what TJ's answers would be. I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty similar. Give me your starting 5 all NHL playoff edition.
Oh, so
give me your starting 5. The best players of the first round. Starting 5: left wing, center, right wing, defense, goalie.
And just all time, in the playoffs.
Just this first round.
Oh, okay, this first round. Who am I drafting?
Based on the first round.
So, my center's got to be Matthews.
Really?
Easy.
No Draisaitl?
Oh, I could go Drat, but no. It's got to be Matthews. And then I got to get on my wing. I got to have Rupe on my wing.
Okay, isn't Rupe a center, though?
Oh, Rupe is a center. Fuck. Scratch that.
Rupe center?
Rupe is my center.
Okay.
I'm getting Marner on my wing.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of who I would get as my other winger here. I think I'm taking Janmark as one of my defensemen. Let's just go there.
Janmark?
Yeah, on fucking Edmonton. Matthias.
You mean Ekholm?
Ekholm. Matthias Ekholm, not Matthias Janmark. My
Okay,
bad.
Ekholm, yeah.
Just because he's a dog. God, I'm completely like blanking on like another winger here who's like a Studley because I'm thinking of so many centers in my head. I'm like, oh, I'll take Jack Hughes
You can choose another center if you want. I'll allow you to do that. But
because
you're tripping. You're missing an obvious one. But I will
I'm
give you
missing
another
an
center if you
obvious
want.
one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who's like studding out on defense too, because like based on what I watched, and it's obviously like I'm just so in my own head. I'm taking Tkachuk. Um,
That's it. Yeah.
uh, I don't know. I'm tripping out. I also did watch like the Leafs super closely as compared to some of the other series. I might have missed more games. The
Right.
way that Morgan Riley has played in this playoffs is like actually something that we need to
Mm-hmm.
write. Like there needs to be
In the
like
history books, man.
in the history books of like how this guy was like on a decline like 3/4 of the way into the season, kind of started to pick it up towards the end, and is now like, yeah, remember that guy you wanted me to be? I am him. All right, give me yours, bro.
You forget the goalie, bro.
Oh, the goalie. Ooh, that's tough. I think I either gotta go with the Devil's kid or I gotta go with my boy. So I'm going with my boy, Ottinger.
Sure.
Give me the big
So
Jaco.
you're we're gonna have similar but not similar. I'm just gonna be completely blunt here. I'm being a homer with this, right?
Mhm.
I'm gonna be a complete homer. Give me Tkachuk left wing.
Yeah.
I was gonna take Draisaitl, but then I thought about it. One, I'm going homer, and two, he scored 4 goals in the last 4 games. I think he scored a goal for the last 4 games.
Yep.
Give me Matthews. Give me Marner for that dream team first line.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm being a homer. I agree.
Mhm.
I was thinking about picking Draisaitl. I was gonna stay with Marner, but I was thinking about picking Draisaitl, but I want Matthews because he clutched up. Give me Morgan Riley. The defense. I'm thinking like Brandon Montour, honestly. He
That's
clutched
not a
up in
bad one
games
either.
6 and 7. Give me Brandon Montour, and I'm taking
Okay.
Schmid. And I'm taking Schmid.
Schmid. So my first line is Kachuk, Rupe, and Marner. So
Marner, yeah,
like, oh
I'm
bro,
Tkachuk, Matthews, Marner.
we got the two speedsters and Kachuk just causing shit. So we're gonna score a billion points. And then on defense, I got Ekholm, the game changer in Edmonton, and then Morgan Riley, the game
And I
changer in Toronto.
and
And
I
then
got
in net, I
Riley.
got Odger. I feel like we got some pretty good squads there. I feel like mine's
Right.
gonna wipe yours though, just because I
Oh,
got
maybe.
fucking Rupe.
I think your only saving grace would be Ekholm, to be honest. But
Yeah, Ekholm's my defense.
one more, bro. One more, bro. Ready?
All right.
Now for your starting five of Team Ghost.
So
The
what is this?
worst performing players in the first round.
Oof. Okay.
I can go first to give
All
you an
right. No.
example.
Well, I got my two wingers. My two wingers are. Oh, bro, I think I got my three. It's
There you
gotta
go.
be. Oh, there's no doubt in my mind. Panarin,
Okay.
Timo, and fucking Bo Horvat. Where did that
Okay.
guy go?
That's a good one.
Horvat was a fucking ghost on defense. I mean, I don't really know the stats that well, but like I'm just basing it off of like what happened, Boston. I think I'm gonna go
That's one of
Charlie
mine.
Mack.
No, that's not one of mine. Okay.
Well, who would you go? Like I'm just going. I would just go Boston defense in general, but
So Lindholm McAvoy.
yeah, like Lindholm McAvoy, I guess. Like
That's
I don't know.
good.
I
Yeah,
could
that's
probably
good.
think if I thought hard enough, I could probably come up with another defender. Like I don't know.
And then who's your
Maybe like
goalie?
someone on the Kings. It's just like, what are you doing? Like, why are you even playing defense? But yeah, let's just go with the two Boston defense. Even though I'm sure they didn't play horrible in the series as a whole, it's just more so I'm indicting their whole team.
Who are you going for goalie?
In net, it's probably stay in Boston.
Okay. Yep.
Like that the collapse was like iconic.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so mine. See, you'll agree with me. I think it's for different reasons from just owing but my left winger, man, it's gonna be Tanner's. They just paid 5 first-round picks for him to get scratched in the last 2 games.
That is a good one. I should have done him over Meyer because like Meyer, at least his team moved on.
Bro fought Luke Shannon, and that's all, and lost, and that's all he did in that series. He's
Five
chirping at the
picks.
bench. 5 picks. What a bust. The center. This might be bad, and I feel bad. Give me Patrice Bergeron. He was a -6
And
in his
he
last
came
game.
in the
Yes, I
clinching
know he
game
was.
5.
Was he in for a game that they won?
No, he came in clinching game 5 and they lost
God,
3 straight.
that's what I mean. Give me Patrice Bergeron. It makes me so sad to say, but him coming in, everybody was like, "Yes, I know he was injured. He had a hernia. I know this." Okay, but Jeannot was injured too, I think. But he comes in, that gives a boost to their lineup. They're supposed to sweep. He's a -6, dude.
Like the Selkie, like they're gonna rename the Selkie the Bergeron Award, and he's a -6.
I was gonna go Timo Meyer, but I am gonna go Panarin as my right winger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Lindholm
Mm-hmm.
because he was disappointing. And then you missed a layup, bro. The worst defenseman in the freaking playoffs. Give me Justin Hall. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah,
On
he's
for
literally
19
off the team
goals.
now.
He was on for 75% of their goals. We outscored them like 18-4 when he wasn't on the ice.
I got too much in my own head thinking teams that lost who blew it. I didn't even think about a guy who was literally on a winning team. They got
He
pulled and it
sucked.
helped them.
And then
Oh,
for goalie,
geez.
I'm taking Vasi.
Yeah, like, but Vasi also, like, here's my one credit to Vasi is at least he's consistently shit against the Leafs.
Well, I mean, he pulled it back. He wasn't
Yeah,
consistently shit last year. He was shit
yeah.
for the first 3 games and then
It's so
started
weird though. It's
dominating.
such a weird stat since like I think it was since 2020. He's like versus the rest of the league, he's like 920 type goalie versus the Leafs. He's like 890 type goalie.
Or his kryptonite, bro, because
Yeah.
then he got outed on the Leafs already knew it because they were doing it, but he got outed on Sportsnet where they were like, he's one of the worst goalies that's seen pucks from the point.
Wow.
So the Leafs were just in front, and you notice how as soon as we came back from that 4-1 game, they protected the point like it was their life, and they saw
Yeah.
success for Game 5 and Game 6.
Mhm.
So yeah,
It's a way to win. So
yeah.
I think all in all, it's gonna be an exciting second round. And I think this is gonna shape, like if it shapes up the way we think it's gonna shape up, this is going to be a wild ride to the Stanley Cup final.
Can I just say, like, I'm sorry, I know we're closing it out here, but tell me if I'm wrong, and I'm saying this as a Leafs fan who finally just got past the first round. With the teams advancing, is this not a shitty playoff?
It
Florida, Carolina, New Jersey, Seattle, and Dallas. Vegas and Edmonton obviously are good, and
but
Toronto's decent.
could
But
it not be a shitty playoff and just the most parity we've seen in
yeah, that's
such a long
true.
time?
But wouldn't
Because
it be much
Boston
more?
should be here.
Boston
Like
should be here. Colorado should be here.
like
Probably New York,
yeah.
realistically.
So it's like
But
when you look at things like that, it's like it's just it was the most parity we've seen in hockey in a long time, which I fucking love it. I want to see new
I'm
teams in the playoffs.
I'm pretty sure the team. So like all the teams winning the cup. The most recent one out of everyone left was 2006, I think.
Wow.
So we're
That's
not gonna have no 2010s. We're gonna have a new Stanley Cup champion. Who will it be?
that's gonna be exciting, bro.
So we'll be back soon. I don't know what our plans are. If we're gonna do post game reactions, if we're gonna talk about it the day of next, so we'll probably go in depth about the Leaf series. You know, Leafs fan. Probably go in depth about the Oilers series. So we're not exactly sure what we have planned, but there's lots of content coming
Lots
soon.
of new content coming. Make sure you check back to Off the Post Sports. And like Mitch said, we're going to be kind of tweaking the schedule, seeing what we can do. We'll either do games being posted right after the game we'll record right after, post it either next morning or that night, and you'll see it in your subscription feed. So that's why you need to subscribe, share it with a friend. As always, if you made it this far in the video, you might as well like. I'm TJ. That's Mitch. This is Off the Post Sports, Off the Post NHL. We'll see you next time. Peace.